Wow, what a game. That was an unbelievable game. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was mesmeric, end to end, heavy hitting draw, 2-2, Liverpool against Man City. And that is the football of the Premier League. That was prime Premier League football right there. Now, that was football between the two best footballing sides in the Premier League. And that is why I believe that United and Chelsea, they can't touch us. They can't play the football that Liverpool and City do. It really proved how clear we are from the rest of the league. And honestly, I think when it gets down to it, United don't have a good enough manager to sustain a title race for 38 games. I'm sorry. They have one of the best teams in the league, but with that manager, they can't even beat Everton, Young Boys, Southampton, and who else? West Ham. If they can't beat those teams, they just haven't got the consistency to win the Premier League. And when it comes to Chelsea, that football, that terrorism that you play at your ground will not not sustainable over 38 games. But back to the game. What a game. I'm absolutely speechless. I was shaking, sweating, shouting, everything during that game. It was incredible to see. I'm going to go into the game. We started very slowly, very slowly. We were giving the ball away a lot. Liverpool was suffocating us in terms of pressure. They didn't really create too many chances, but they were really suffocating us. We were just giving the ball away every single time. We couldn't get out. We did get a few little breaks, but nothing really in the first, I'd say, 10 minutes. But as the game went on, the first half, we got more and more confident. I think we had one counter attack when Edison played a wonderful ball over the top of Foden, who beat Milner very easily, and I don't think he got it on target. I think he got it on target. I just think he missed. I think Allison made a decent save, and there was one other one. Could have been one of the assists of the season. Believe me, it was like seeing Messi play for my football club. Bernardo Silva got the ball in the middle of the pitch, just below the halfway line, and he turned and he ran at him. He turned it into trouble. I think it was Fabinho pressing him, and then I think it was, correct if I'm wrong here, I think it was Henderson, and he got out of that, ran at Van Dijk, cut inside. Van Dijk was on the floor. he dropped Van Dijk. I felt like I was watching Messi or something. He dropped on the floor, he cut inside, played in a beautiful ball diagonally towards the left-hand side, towards where Foden was. And Foden, he should have hit it first time, but he didn't. He took a touch, and it was straight at Alisson. And honestly, we dominated that first half. It was we outplayed Liverpool at Anfield. Or literally, most of the times we go to Anfield, we always go 3-0 down within the first 40 minutes. But today, in that first half, we were brilliant. But again, I feel like a broken record when I'm saying this. The lack of striker killed us. And in that second half, we weren't really as good. We weren't really as good in that second half. We started to be a bit sloppy like we were in the first 10 minutes of the first half. We were really poor, and Liverpool got their goal. I think it was in the 59th minute. Sadio Mane scored. They got a ruthless counter-attack. Salah absolutely duppied João Cancelo, who played very well in that first half. He was very well. I'll get onto that later. But Mohamed Salah, he absolutely got past Cancelo like he wasn't even there. Cut inside a little bit, played a little reverse pass into Sadio Mane, who slotted it past Edison. Good counter-attacking goal. That is Liverpool written all over it, isn't it? And that's what happens when you don't take your chances. That's what happens if you don't take your chances, Because if you don't take your chances against a team like Liverpool, who thrive off the counter-attack, especially against a possession-based team like Manchester City, you really have to take your chances, and we didn't there, and we paid the price. But, which is something that Man City don't do, but often, we scored. We came back. We didn't stop, and we came back. And I think it was Foden who got the goal. Beautiful play it was a counter attack from us this time, and beautiful play. I'm not sure. I don't really remember what happened in the lead up to that goal, but I know Jesus with a wonderful ball into Foden on his left foot, and he hit it straight across Alisson into that bottom right hand side, and it was pandemonium in the City away, and I was absolutely loving it. Another Foden goal against Liverpool. He's making it quite the occurrence now. Against Liverpool, he might be our new Leroy Sané. You never know. And that I think after that we got the game was a bit more balanced this time. The game was a bit more balanced. We were controlling the game a bit more than we were last time. But then then Salah. Oh my goodness me! This guy right now is the best player in the Premier League. Honestly, this guy, the way he did us dirty. I'm still shocked. I was speechless. My hands were on my head like this. Honestly, how am I going to describe this goal? How do I describe that goal? I think Salah just had the ball. He cut outside to his right foot on the right hand side. On the right hand side when this happened, I think he cut outside to his right foot. He did. Bernardo Silva sat him down. Then he sat Laporte down as he cut inside, something like that. No, I think he was inside and then he cut outside and he sent Bernardo Silva and Laporte, and he hit it across Edison. Something crazy like that. It was like one of them. Do you remember that Hazard goal that he scored against Liverpool a few years ago? It was a little bit like that, and he just hit it straight across Edison into the left hand side of the goal. Wow! And Anfield went rocking. It was unbelievable, and I thought the game's over. I didn't think we could win that game. I thought it was done. I thought again we hadn't taken our chances, and we're gonna lose to Liverpool at Anfield again, but Kevin De Bruyne, he was absolutely horrific the whole game. He was really poor, but he came up with the goods, and he absolutely, with left foot curler, took a deflection, but he took with left foot curler into the right hand side of where Alisson was standing, and wow, um, and we really could have won. We really could have won that game. We had a few chances towards the end when Sterling came on. I think it's when Jesus had that last minute volley, and obviously we had the corners at the end of the game, and even Liverpool, they had a chance with Jota. They had a few chances with that Fabinho with Rodri off the line. That Fabinho chance, honestly, that was a Premier League classic, man. On to the player ratings now. Edison, he was good, very good in the first half, very good in the first half. Distribution, mwah, chef's kiss. It was unbelievable in that first half. The way he played that ball over to Foden, he could have had 2 assists easily in that first half. Cancelo in the first half, amazing. In the second half, dreadful. If we're being honest, it was a story of two halves, as they say, two sides of a coin. In the first half, he was playing wonderful passes into Foden. His link up with Foden and Grealish on that left hand side was incroyable. But in the second half, man, oh my goodness. In that second half, Salah had him on ropes. It was ropes. Salah had him on ropes. It was like tug of war, but the most one-sided tug of war ever. Like Salah had all the ropes. You know what I mean? But Laporte and Diaz, very good. Laporte got sat down for that second goal, but I don't even blame him for that because Salah is just that good. He's one of the most complete players in the world. I really can't say anything about that. Diaz, he was a little bit quiet. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being quiet as a centre back, honestly. I think he was fine. Walker, very good defensively. Very, very good defensively, I think. Second half was a bit dodgy in the second half and at occasions, but I think he marshalled Mane quite well until the point that Mane had to go to the left-hand side to actually score a goal. So I'm very impressed with that. The midfield, it was a poor performance from the midfield. Individually, good. As a collective, very poor. We were getting split open with Matip balls into the feet of Jota, into the feet of Mane. We were getting absolutely split open far too many times, and it was unbelievably frustrating to see. But if I'm gonna do it as an individual kind of metric, I'm gonna go with Rodri. Rodri was really good in the second half, especially. He did make that one mistake that led to a free kick, but it doesn't really matter. But that goal line clearance, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. We always do goal line clearances against Liverpool, don't we? We don't do it against any other team. We didn't do it in the Champions League final, but we did it against Liverpool in the Premier League. And I'm really happy about that because if that went in, we would have lost. We would have lost. That was very late on in the game, and my heart went through the roof. I thought it was going to bounce out my body, man. Honestly. Bernardo Silva, he was very good. Very good, amazing. Give him whatever he wants, please, Pep. Please, Pep. Tishi, everyone who's running the contracts or anything to do with the higher ups of the club, whoever sorts out the contracts, give Bernardo whatever he wants because he wanted to leave, by the way, and everyone was saying, if he wants to leave, let him leave. Don't let him leave. Keep him here because if he goes, we are losing a vital asset to our team. Honestly, he is one of the best players in the world, man. He is, and I know it's a bit of an overstatement, but he is. He is just that good, and I can't believe some people were doubting him early because he just is that good. That run that he made in that first half, and if that would have been one of the Premier League assists of the season, if Foden scored that, man. But anyway, I digress. Kevin De Bruyne, poor, very poor. Wow, it was like. Wow, that was one of his worst games in a City shirt. I won't lie to you. It was poor, even though he scored an absolute wonder goal, but poor performance from De Bruyne. He kept giving the ball away. He was tripping over his own feet. His touch wasn't all of that. It just wasn't his performance, and I think hopefully after the break he performs. If he doesn't, we might have to look at other options in that space. He might have to be dropped for a little bit. But it's Kevin De Bruyne. He won't be down for too long. He's just too good not to. But going on to the front three, Grealish was average. He was average, wasn't too much. His form was a little bit stagnant, a little bit. He hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't been at the level we want him to yet. I just think it's that first season syndrome with Pep with new signings. They don't really tend to perform straight away. I mean, look at Rodri, look at Bernardo, look at Mahrez, look at Sane. All didn't perform to their peak at their first seasons. It takes a while to adapt to Man City's style of play. So I'll give him a little bit of slack this season. And next season, I'm fully expecting him to really come out of his shell. Jesus, in the first half, didn't really do much. I think he was a bit isolated on that right hand side because he didn't really have the support of a Cancelo to overlap or to play with him. Since Walker, he kind of stays back a lot. So he was a bit isolated in that first half. But in the second half, he really, especially when Sterling came on, he really tore it up, man. He got that assist for Foden's goal. Grealish and Foden against Liverpool, not Grealish, Jesus and Foden against Liverpool seems to be the formula nowadays. Really good assist, and I think really good link-up play, especially when Sterling came on. Foden, amazing. Another masterclass against Liverpool. The finishing was not good enough. All right, I'm not gonna try and overstate that. The finishing was dreadful, but the overall play, the dribbling. I mean, he had Milner spinning like a Beyblade, man. He just kept going round and round and round. I mean, Milner just didn't know where to look when Foden was on the ball, man. You can't keep this guy out. This guy's one of the best young players in the world. And I can't believe the Euros made people think that he was some kind of overrated or something like that. He's just too good to be overrated, man. He's just that good. But I want to talk about Sterling when he came off the bench. That's one thing I want to talk about. That was one of his best performances of the season. He didn't get a goal or assist, I admit, but his link-up play in the way he drove Liverpool's defenders backwards, because before that, a lot of us were coming towards the ball. We weren't really getting inside behind Van Dijk or behind Matip because a lot of our forward line liked to come towards the ball, and Liverpool were playing a high line because of it. They know our players don't have a lot of pace going forward. But when Sterling came on, he changed the game. He had a few chances where we could have even won the game if he scored the winner at Anfield, where he was getting booed the whole time. We know the history between Liverpool fans and Sterling. They don't really like him that much. And if he scored the winner, that would have been amazing. But that Sterling cameo, it gives me faith in him, man. It gives me faith that he can perform. He just gives me faith. Do you know what I mean? It just gives me faith that he could perform better than he currently has. That was more like the Sterling of old. It was more like the Sterling that we saw at the Euros. And I want nothing less. I want nothing more than to just have that Sterling back. You know what I mean? But anyways, thank you all for watching. And I also want to say a thank you for 50 subscribers. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And hopefully, international break now. Got to watch Southgate ball. Oh, goodness. I'm probably not even going to watch, I won't lie to you. Only if Sterling plays, maybe. But hopefully, I think... Who do we have when we come back? I think it's Burnley. I think we have Burnley at home on the weekend back. But anyways, it's been your boy Ryan. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.